Hi guys, it's Dr. Liz here. Hey, 7 strategies to make sure that your Valentine's Day is a success, right? Ready? Number 1, setting the stage. Yeah, if we're looking at one of the most romantic holidays and it's about to happen, I want to show you how to set yourself and your partner up for success. And it means you start setting the stage now. And why? Well, it's important to you. And if it's important to you, it's going to be important to them because you are important to them. All right. Don't assume they don't know what you want. It's just because the movies say it, they don't know what you want. Half the time, we don't know what we want. So one of the biggest mistakes couples make is to assume that their partner knows or to make their partner guess. And your partner's not your spouse is not a mind reader, okay? They're not going to pick up on all the cues, so don't make it a test. Make the odds not 50-50, make it 100% because you're going to increase the odds because you're going to give them very clear ideas about what you want, and they're going to get a chance, an opportunity to give you really clear ideas about what they want. Win-win, okay? So what I want you to realize, it is sexy to be setting both of you up for success, right? It means we have to plan ahead. Yes. We need to plan ahead. We got to get specific. We want to map it all out. Together, the two of you are going to decide the who, the what, the where, and you can compare notes, look at the finances, timing, people's needs, people's preferences, all right? Successful couples do this all the time. They get the details out of the way. What day? Well, right now, it's going to be Valentine's Day. If you're hitting on Valentine's Day, it's Tuesday. But many people, maybe you want to do something on the weekend, so we got to even back it up. The day might be Saturday. So don't assume. Decide, what day are we going to celebrate? What time? Do we need a babysitter? Do we need a house sitter, critter sitter? What is the cost? What's our budget? If the budget's tight, it's going to be stay home or something, or we're going to skip it. Are we going to do homemade gifts, notes? Even if the budget's great, maybe you prefer that homemade touch, that personal touch. Doesn't matter. Okay? Let go of the romancing notion that surprise is better, right? And I'll tell you what you get. It's not like in the social media and on the TV. Surprise is what you get when your sweetheart does their best to guess what would please you the most, okay? And if you haven't left your Santa list, a breadcrumb trail, they're going to do their best, and that means and that needs to be celebrated and appreciated, because what it means is they're guessing and they're trying their best. I want you to remember and appreciate your partner's efforts, because you want them to appreciate your efforts, even if it's not spot on. All right. So we've planned ahead. We've got the specifics out of the way. Understand, romantic surprises aren't really that romantic. Okay. Because if we're surprising them, the odds are we might get a romantic fail and not a romantic win. All right. So we want to, let them know what it is that you need, what it is you want. And in everybody's idea of romance, everybody's idea of going out or staying in looks different. So we want to be clear, and we want to ask good questions and get good answers, which takes me to number 5. The 5th strategy of making sure that today and any day is great. This can be applied to vacations and whatever else, is asking good quality questions. And what's the big deal? What's a quality question? Question's a question. Well, being focused and having well thought out questions takes the guesswork out. And so there's a couple kinds of quality questions, and I'm going to give you examples of them. There are quality questions that are specific, and you use this one if you have an end goal or request, right? You might say something like, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I want to avoid the crowds, and I want to avoid the food sticker shock and bad service. Would that be okay with you too? I've thought about we could cook a meal here at the house, or we could have something delivered. Okay. You've been very specific. You've offered a couple suggestions. You've checked in with them. Is that going to be okay with them? And then you offered a couple options. No guesswork around that one. Quality questions can also be open-ended. And this is a type of question format you use if you want to hear their opinions, their perspectives, their preferences, or maybe you don't know either and you're just open like, hey, let's brainstorm. The holiday's coming up. I didn't snuck up on me. And so it might be, hey, Valentine's Day is coming up on Tuesday. Okay, pin drop gets it current. Okay, that's a specific. But I wanted to know, how would you like to celebrate it? What are your thoughts? So we're putting it out there for them. What are your thoughts? And together you brainstorm, or they're going to give you some specific information. And you may say, that sounds good, but since it's on Tuesday, I was kind of thinking that maybe we'd want to stay in or keep it more low key because, I know the next day is an early day. All right. And out of that, you guys might evolve to, picking actually a different day for the two of you to go out and celebrate, or driving on Tuesday, Valentine's Day, that meets the time constraints. So quality questions gives your partner a chance to offer the information that you're looking for. And even if you both disagree, you know exactly where you're at, exactly where they stand. And from now, you're going to be one of those successful couples that you can agree to disagree and sort things out. All right. And figure out options and compromise. Compromise is sexy too, or taking turns. And a thing to be aware of, quality questions are not loaded questions. It's not going to be a test, and it's not going to be a pass or fail. They gave you the wrong answer. All right. Quality questions give the two of you a chance to connect with the right information. And so here's an example. If I'm asking, like, what's your schedule look like on Tuesday? My spouse may, my hubby may say, oh, well, it's pretty full, and I've got meetings most of the morning, and then a project cleanup, and that has to be wrapped up before the next day. So it's going to probably be a long day. Why? Well, if I say, oh, okay, maybe I feel a little frustrated or deflated. Maybe I may think, oh yeah, they didn't guess. They didn't remember Tuesday's Valentine's Day. There's no mention. All they mentioned was work, what they got to do. And, it seems like they do this every year. They don't remember. And it's just like, rinse and repeat, the same day as the next. I might think, well, they didn't mention anything special, like lunch, or, we got the work, but after work, we're going to have a late dinner. Okay. And now, because they told me how busy they're going to be, can you hear my tongue going? There's no wiggle room for any of us. And once again, I come second. Their work comes first. Well, guess what I did? I missed an opportunity here, and in so many ways. One, I asked a really poor question. What's your schedule look like on Tuesday? It's free floating all over. Okay. Number two, when I heard what they said, it wasn't what I wanted to hear. And I just said, oh, okay. So a fast save might have been, let's say, ask that question. And, because it happens to us, we don't always ask great laser focused questions, right? A fast save could have been when I heard that, I said, oh, okay. I had hoped that we could break away and do something fun together since Tuesday's Valentine's Day. Maybe a lunch, early dinner to beat the crowds and save money. I don't know. Now I just did the save. It allows my husband to be on the same page as me. And then together we can come up with a plan. It might end up that we'd have a breakfast together, or they'd look at juggling meetings. Or it might simply mean that we postpone Valentine's Day and pull it out to a weekend and make it a makeup date. I don't know. It's free for us to choose and figure out. So don't just settle with the first answer, or if you don't ask a good question, you can always do a redo. Okay. Number 6 is, how do we write a new love story? All right. How do we put those redos back into our relationship? How do we get out of the they never meet my needs, or it's so, or I guess this is the best it's going to be? Because that's the love story that we tell ourselves. That's the love story that we live by. So I want to ask you, what does your love story look like? Okay. Is it optimistic? Is it filled with joy and love and you're excited and you're happy? Or is it feeling pretty disappointing and you're feeling kind of let down or being taken for granted? Your narratives, your thoughts, your expectations, all of these whisper in your head, and all of these shape your love story. And it comes from also our early years of watching our family and our friends and everyone in there. So here's the bottom line. If you aren't satisfied with the love in your relationship, if you aren't satisfied with your love story, you can rewrite it. Toss the old one out, keep your partner, and let's start showing up differently. All right. So what do? First thing, we look at our past love story. If my needs weren't feeling like our priority, or I feel I'm being taken for granted, or whatever, I need to go back to those pain points and focus on them and bring them to the surface by saying, like, I didn't feel like I'm a priority. Well, I'm going to then use my quality questions. I'm going to plan ahead. I'm going to speak up and create a moment that's going to change up my love story. And it's going to change up how my husband or my partner would show up in my life. You start by believing in yourself, and you believe in your partner. And then you trust the process of rewriting history the way you both desire. So let's have you today, please, believe in yourself, believe in your partner. Take charge of your life. Don't let the old flops and fails and the misses and the oops write and continue to write today and tomorrow for you. If you have longing in your heart, you hear whispers of doubt or frustration or pain, let's listen to them. Let's change that up and let's show up better and show up differently. Listen to your partner's ideas. Think about the old hurts. What were the old things that maybe you let them down? And together, the two of you, it gets sexy here, okay? It gets fun. It gets exciting. It gets invigorating. The two of you start showing up differently. Discuss priorities. Be specific. Talk about your expectations. Get clear on what you want your relationship to look like. Get clear on how you want them to show up. Get clear on how you want yourself to show up. And then together, the two of you test it. Keep what works. Toss what doesn't. But keep moving forward because it's your romance and your love story that you're designing. Yeah. And like all good love stories, there's got to be some level of disappointment, right? Because life just isn't fair, right? And sometimes it's plain hard. And people make mistakes. I make mistakes. Oopses, say unkinds. So we got to understand that our relationship, our marriage, it's the place that we show up being really vulnerable. They're our VIP. We're their VIP, very important partner, very important person. And we're going to let people down. We're going to miss cues. We're just not being mean. It's just part of having a human moment. And so there's going to be disappointments in your relationship, but how you deal with them is going to reduce the impact and the abrasion on you and them and the relationship. Here's an inside tip that successful couples use and know. They know that they're going to have conflicts with their partners. They know there's going to be disappointments. It's just part of the relationship life cycle, okay? It's like getting a gray hair. It is part of the process of life. It's what you do about that gray hair or that disappointment that is different in the successful couple versus one that's sort of just given up. I don't want you to be that couple that just gives up or keeps on distancing from each other. Successful couples understand that things happen. They acknowledge the moment. They don't sweep it under the rug. Nope. They take ownership of their part and they identify their feelings. They share their feelings, their thoughts, and perspectives. They come together to repair. Yes, you can have those moments and you're going to go other places and you're going to process and hurt, but you're going to come together. They're going to apologize for what they need to. You're going to apologize for what you need to and accept apologies. No testings. We're going to show appreciation for each other. We're going to look back at the past and recognize there's been a lot of wins, probably more wins than losses. Hint, a human nature thing is that we tend to focus on what went wrong instead of what went right. So we're going to change that. And then the couple comes together and finds a good middle ground. Maybe Valentine's Day hasn't gone so great in the past, or maybe we're right in the midst of a Valentine fail right now. Well, guess what? You can have a second Valentine Day. You're writing the rules, right? You can do a redo, all right? You can come to fresh ground, and it makes all the difference because you're rewriting your love story. Now, here's an example. Maybe you've been hinting for weeks that you wanted to go to that expensive steakhouse that your friends have been raving about. You've seen it on all their pictures or selfies and stuff. Like, I want to go there. Your partner listened to you. Yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds nice. But they didn't get it. They did not catch it, that you wanted them to go make reservations, get a sitter for the kids, and take you there on a Valentine's Day as a surprise. Okay, they didn't get it. So as the week closes in, all right, and we're getting close, and there's been no more mention of Valentine's Day plans, and you start focusing on how they never do anything. It's always you. And by gosh, this year I'm not doing it, and you're getting more resentful, colder, tense, and the house can feel it. And by the time Valentine's Day rolls around, you may just wish it was over because so far you haven't had any babysitter plans discussed. It doesn't seem to be dinner being talked about or anything like that. And it's Tuesday late afternoon, and you figure nothing's happened. So all of a sudden they come home. They come through the door, come through the garage door, whatever. But they've got flowers from the grocery store and a couple of steaks for you to cook. And they're smiling. They thought they were romantic. Here's some flowers. Here's some steaks. Because they heard you say you wanted steaks. They bought you your flowers and brought them home to you. They also picked up favorite dessert and beverage. And they're thinking like they're rocking it. They're smiling. They're walking on air because they surprised you. And they remember this year. But you're disappointed. Why? I get it. You had a romantic moment all mapped out in your mind. And that was the way your Valentine's Day love story was supposed to look, right? You didn't share it with them. You thought you did, but you didn't share it in a way that they could hear. What also happens is that you stopped being probably nice to be around. You start being maybe a little disappointed before it. And you're missing the wins in this moment because you had this ideal and you didn't share it and they didn't guess right. But the wins are here, okay? We're going to pull it out. Okay? They did hear you. The steaks arrived. They know your preferences. Dessert and beverage, both of your favorites. They surprised you. They love you. They got you flowers, all right? Other thing is that they know that you don't like to waste money. And a steakhouse would have been a big budget breaker. So they thought they were hitting all of the hot buttons for you and showing up in a way that was romantic, surprising, and personal. And we missed the opportunity. It could have been a great love story, but we missed it. But it's not too late. You can rewrite it. You can redo it. And I'd like to offer you guys an opportunity to join me in my Couples Smart Restart program. It's a 6-week sprint where together we dive deep and we personalize your restart for your relationship. And it happens fast. 6 weeks, rapid transformation. We do foundations first. I'll tell you all about that more. But foundations first, we get a personalized objective assessment on just what's going on for you guys. And we have coaching focused just for the three of us, just for the two of you. You have access to me outside our coaching sessions. And I have a really cool self-paced special called the Weekend Reconnect. And you can use it for a weekend getaway, or you can use it for your date night bite-size togetherness time. All right. So click on the link below, drop me a DM. I'm here. I want you to join me inside my Couples Smart Restart 6-week sprint. We're going to rapidly transform your relationship and your love story. This one you want to keep. Take care. I'm Dr. Liz Jenkins. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll talk to you soon.